The Senate just approved a temporary debt increase of $480 billion. In tonight's video, I will be going over how this increase will affect millions of Americans. Friends, welcome back to my channel. This is your fourth stimulus check update and daily news report. I post several times a day to bring you up to date. The Senate voted in favor of legislation that will temporarily raise the United States' $28.4 trillion debt ceiling and prevent a national default later this month. The package was approved thanks to a 61-38 bipartisan decision to waive the filibuster, followed by a 50-48 party line vote from the Democrats. If the bill passes the House of Representatives, the debt ceiling will be temporarily raised by $480 billion until December 3rd, 2021. Our nation has been expected to surpass its debt ceiling on October 18th of this month, which would have had an unimaginable consequence for the United States as it continues its economic recovery. The passage of a temporary debt ceiling increase can only be a good thing for the economy, but how will it affect the working Americans? Earlier this week, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned that the United States economy could slip into a recession if the nation was allowed to default on its commitments. Janet Yellen told a reporter with CNBC News it would be catastrophic to not pay the government's bills, for us to be in a position where we lack the resources to pay the government's bills. I fully expect it would cause a recession as well.
And ensure that multinational corporations pay their fair share here at home. The international agreement is proof that the rest of the world agrees that corporations can and should do more to help build back better. I understand you're all looking for a week ahead. We will have one, I promise, in the later days of this weekend, and we'll provide that to all of you as soon as we have it. And last item, I know we talk about serious things in here, but we have one fun thing today. Chris is getting married in a week, so you won't see him for 2 weeks, and nobody can call him or bother him for 2 weeks. Bother me, Corrine, Chris, and just to embarrass him a little bit, I got him a little special sash to wear, just for the briefing, because everybody should know that Chris is marrying up, as many people do. You can put it on yourself, and also a pin. Also a pin. I'll let Andrew or someone else put on you. But really, we just wanted to congratulate Chris, celebrate him. Most important decision you make is the person you choose to be your partner. Glad you have your mask on. Exactly. Okay. With that, Amr.
I don't know how I talk about it.
You tell him. Give him advice.
I'll try to ask this question. Can you confirm that the White House is authorizing the National Archives to turn over documents covering all communications related to Trump's activities on January 6th?
The administration takes the events of January 6th incredibly.
It was the Treasury Department who flagged the October 18th deadline as a point at which the United States would be unable to cover its debts. The U.S. Treasury Department was already using emergency measures to ensure that the country was able to avoid a default, something that would have a hugely damaging impact on the economic recovery. Hitting the debt ceiling could have crippled the spending of the federal government, and programs and essential services could have been disrupted. The New York Times reports that about 65 million Americans who currently receive Social Security benefits could have seen their payments delayed. The federally funded Medicare and Medicaid would also suffer great delays in funding, which could prevent some patients from getting the treatment that they require if allowed to continue for weeks or even months. The expanded child tax credit would likely have also suffered from a debt default, leaving around 35 million families without the payments until the issue was resolved. Friends, be subscribed to my channel and comment below the keyword. Thank you so much, friends. The avoidance of an unprecedented debt default is undoubtedly a positive outcome for the American people, but the ongoing issue will almost certainly affect the running of government in the coming 8 weeks, meaning that a fiercely partisan Congress will have an additional priority to fit alongside President Biden's ambitious Build Back Better agenda and the passage of the 12 federal spending bills required to keep our government running. President Biden and other Democratic leaders in Congress will have their work cut out to keep the party together through a very precarious period. And there is a chance that some elements of Biden's legislative agenda may get sidelined to ensure that a more long-term solution to the debt ceiling crisis can be agreed upon. Friends, what are your thoughts on the temporary extension of the debt ceiling? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you received a 6470 letter from the United States Internal Revenue Service regarding a math error in relation to your 2020 tax returns, you may owe more money on your next return. These letters notified tax filers about incorrect information regarding their stimulus check amounts and were sent out beginning this summer. Letters were sent out to people who claimed the recovery rebate credit on their 2020 tax returns. The credit allowed people who did not get their first or second stimulus checks to claim them on their returns and receive them as part of a tax refund. And this is according to the Internal Revenue Service. This also applies to those who did not receive the full amount in their stimulus checks. The Internal Revenue Service had to correct about 9 million math errors on tax returns this year. That's about nearly 7.5 million of which were related to the first 2 stimulus checks. Also, the IRS sent out about 5 million incorrect math error letters, which omitted the 60-day time period by which tax filers were able to correct whatever mistakes were made. Due to the failure to notify about 5 million recipients of the time frame by which they could correct the math error, the Internal Revenue Service is allowing an additional 60 days from the time that they received their second notice for corrections. But meanwhile, as millions of Americans receive these confusing letters in regards to their stimulus checks and tax returns, the IRS received a record number of calls in 2021 from customers trying to sort out these errors. Friends, thank you so much for being here tonight. I truly appreciate every single one of you who are watching my videos.